It looks like the Candace Owens era is coming to an end. Nick Fuentes, for probably about the last 24, 48 hours, has been slightly attacking Candace, essentially saying that what she's doing currently is sidetracking the actual goals of what he's wanting to do. And this is her responding to these allegations. And we got it here from Chief Trumpster saying, listen to why she won't have Nick Fuentes on her show. And so she's going to argue for essentially because he's banned from YouTube, she's not going to do it, along with some other things as well. And also Chief pointing out that she could have him on a space or another platform aside from YouTube. But this is her full response here.
Yeah, I saw this, people tagging me saying that you don't respect Nick. I don't even know what the genesis of this is. Like, what are we talking about? You don't respect Nick Fuentes. Where is this even coming from? People saying, will you have Nick Fuentes on YouTube? Every single person in the world knows that my show is on YouTube. Nick Fuentes is banned from YouTube. Like, he's not allowed to be on YouTube. You will get a strike if you are on YouTube. So you're asking me to have a conversation with Nick Fuentes, put it up on a different platform that I'm not on, just because you want me to have a conversation with him, and then saying out of respect, nothing. Okay, two sides of this that drive me crazy. I get very annoyed when I'm on like Piers Morgan and then they ask me like, do you disavow Nick Fuentes, right? Because I didn't make a vow to Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is not my husband. It's this leftist tactic of like trying to get people to disavow an entire human being rather than to simply say what I don't agree with. That's why I don't engage in it. I've never done it. I think it's stupid. If you have a statement that Nick Fuentes has said and you want to ask me if I agree with it, I will say yes or no, but you're not going to get me to play your little leftist game, which is really just cancel culture, and you guys do it all the time. But on the other side of that, this like weird kind of like, have you paid your respects? It's the same thing. Like, I have always been an honest person. I communicate exactly what it is that I think, exactly what it is that I am going through. I have no vows to any person but my husband, plain and simple. And so I have said several times, there was not a single person that I would not have a conversation with. Actually, there's one. I'm thinking about one person. I'm not going to say the person's name because I just think the person is just always trolling. But I would not have a conversation with any other person in the world. And by saying like, you have to have a conversation, like the vibes of that are weird. And I told you guys yesterday, like, I don't understand. And I haven't looked into like these attacks on Dave Smith. I absolutely love Dave Smith and I want to work with Dave Smith more on kind of learning history, and he seems to be a great resource of history, and he's been very courageous in standing up to the Zionist lobby, or I say the radical Zionists that attack him all the time and tell him that he's not Jewish. So it just feels like one of these things where I'm not sure what all this is about. So
I gotta say, I 100% enjoy and appreciate her saying, he's not my husband. I don't owe anything to you because you're not my husband. I appreciate that. I wish all women had that kind of energy when it came to being presented with any kind of challenge with another man. The second thing I will say, though, too, is the attacks from Fuentes on Dave Smith seem kind of egregious, in my opinion. And this is coming from somebody who, like, really does like Nick Fuentes. He hated it or love it. Especially because I view it in the same frame from when MAGA attacks Joe Rogan. It just doesn't make much sense because this is somebody who is adjacent to your cause, if not, almost a complete ally, who's willing to go the distance and be in the forefront of getting smeared and attacked by taking these positions that are anti-Israel. And if you're not familiar with some of the stuff that's been going back and forth, Dave Smith and Nick Fuentes kind of went back and forth on X on a couple of things. Nick Fuentes, saying along the lines of like, it's okay for Dave Smith to do it because he's Jewish. It does put a bad kind of optic on everything, and I wish he would kind of pull it back, especially because Dave is willing to go into these spaces, go the distance with Candace Owens as well. Someone who's willing to stake his credibility among the plethora of like smears and attacks that are going against Candace Owens. I mean, if you just go on social media and look at this stuff, people are like, oh, she's unhinged, she's going crazy. I even made a thread on my own X account just showing all these people who are smearing her without going at any of the actual substance of what her arguments or content of what she was saying. So let me know how you feel. I'm also of the idea and mindset too that nobody owes anybody a platform, right? Especially when you've built something up to that level. Now, at the same time, though, expect that also seems like a lack of transparency. Again, Nick Fuentes being the one-off case because it would jeopardize what she did on YouTube. I do understand the sentiment that Chief Trumpster said, which is she could do it on a different platform, which also makes me think, why wasn't Nick involved in that space they had not too long ago with Dave Smith, Andrew Meyer, Dan Bilzerian? and Candace Owens, as well as a couple other people. It does seem a bit odd. But let me know what you think. You know, everybody probably does have a different opinion than I. I'm curious how you feel. But until next time.